Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Donta Myles, aka D Belly, aka your city councilman. I'm here at Fire 716 Radio, and I'm asking you to tune in on Thursdays at 11 on our show, The Vault. We're going to be having some conversations that's super relevant, but very important. And sometimes it may be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to make sure that we get our voices out. Come tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and make sure you download the Fire 716 app. See you then.
Fire 716 Radio. Let's go.
What's going on? Good people. Glad you guys are here today. Listen, we're going to continue off pretty much of where we were last week. That's really kind of engaging. How do we move forward in the betterment of our community? How do we get past a lot of self-interest? How do we get to the space and time where we have more empathy, more so than apathy? And like I always say, track records matter. So it's campaign season out here. It's people out, what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Unica, Miss Davis, Mr. Walker? Good morning. Morning. I just want to make sure that I'm showing love to everybody. Mr. Young, what's going on? Feel it? Yeah, absolutely. So Vincent, good morning. So let's have a chat. Let's communicate. How you doing, Diaj? I see y'all up there. Or yeah. We're gonna talk. Let's make sure that we become just more engaged in regards to just our community. There's a level of community engagement that needs to take place. Now, let me just give a blessed disclaimer, because y'all looking at people who are busy. See this, the boss man that's behind me? This man, he runs all of this, right? And he has kids. We all know when you got the babies, they will take plenty of time, and he ain't he's a husband and a father.
No, thank you.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, salute to you for holding that down, you know what I'm saying, and still providing a space and a place for the voice of the people to be heard. Go to Fire 716 Radio and go to the app. Download that. It makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
So it's a lot that's been happening, man. We've been losing people. Meeting today at the Entrepreneurial School of Thought. Come together as a force to make it happen. We would love for all you guys' presence. Absolutely, y'all come through. Hey, listen, this is a space where everybody can, come and connect, and like let's have a conversation. So, when it comes down to our governing body, when it comes down to the community, I want to be really clear. Like, as of late, we've dealt with a lot of deaths in the city.
Yeah.
We dealt with, and they're not old. Like back in the day, deaths had a lot to do with people who were elderly, or maybe somebody who was sick, and you kind of expected it a little bit. And this go around, this year, the top of the year. Now, we're only on the third month.
Yeah.
And we're losing people. Couple of them were, homicidal. We live in the city of Niagara Falls, which consists of, and I'm probably giving the city probably a good 1,000 or 2 Uh 47,
Yeah.
47,000. Um with that being the case, uh, we have to change how we treat each other.
For sure.
We have to change the culture of how we look at each other. Um because it's disheartening, you know, and we more concerned about your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters, the people that are around you. We have to come more concerned about that, because I think the thing is we get caught up in I don't care until it hits my front doorstep.
Right. No, that's true.
We go to meetings, rallies, in City Hall when it only affects us.
Mm-hmm.
I make it clear a lot of times, often, that by the time you're ready to rally, that's usually when the shovel is in the ground. When the
Mm-hmm.
shovel is in the ground, you're $1 short, you're a day late. That means what's going on, Sean? Okay, so we came up a little bit, 48,360.
Mm-hmm.
Still a small city, but Sean would know too, because Sean has been in City Hall. And one thing about it is, usually in City Hall, people come in many cases after things have been already voted on by planning and zoning board. There has already been a public hearing, and whether the public hearing was not advertised,
Mm-hmm.
and that happens often. Regardless, we're usually Johnny come lately. We come late, like, to the party. So, with that being said, I'm commissioning the people, because right now I'm getting a lot of calls, and in regards to this campaign.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all something. I had to yeah, you need to start coming back to those meetings too, bruh. What did he say? I can I can sit through all the I can't. No, you gonna come. I'm gonna have to come over to make sure you put the bubbles back in the window too. Thank you. Um so yeah, I'm really commissioning the people to start coming through more. I'm getting all of these calls in regards to this campaign season,
Mm-hmm.
where uh you know I'm in a position, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Now, granted, I do need some help in the city council space. I need help
Yeah.
when it comes down to, as far as the governing aspect of City Hall. I need help, where I'm not dealing with people who are just rubber stamping things.
Yeah.
I need that type of support. There's one of my ride or dies support system. Hey, mom. and and so, but what I will do is I will allow every person that's running to run their own race.
Makes sense.
I ran a couple of years ago. I ran a race. I was the same person from day one, right? Um, things are gonna come. Oh, wait, hold on, wait. Where did you? Oh, you moved. Okay, well then hit me up later. Let me know where you at. I have to come over and do a housewarming. Um. So I'm the same person, right? Now here's the stuff that comes with running.
Talk about it.
I didn't get. I had my very knit inner circle of people. Um, and this is definitely no shots fired at all. I mean, it's just so people understand what running a campaign looks like. You get it's usually a small group of people that are willing to hit that ground running, knocking doors out. It's cold. I mean, right now it's pretty decent out. The 2 times I ran in February when we had to do them petitions, it was brick.
I believe it.
I went outside and Elsa's eyelashes and you know what I'm saying? They like listen. Jack Frost, his toenails, they were all over. It was freezing. But I had to do what I had to do. I had, Ezra, that was one of my MVPs. Mom, Aunt Hap, Lola, these are people who put in some work.
Yeah.
So this is I'm gonna use this portion of the show to Todd, you funny. Good morning. Mom said, "Hey Bishop Frank, love you."
Hey, love you, Mom. How are you? Good.
So with that being said, I didn't get a thunderous amount of supporters that were walking the streets.
Yeah, let me. And Dante's talking, and I don't want to. I'm trying to find out where to jump in because he's saying so much good stuff. Because you're about to get into a conversation that I think is required. Mm-hmm. But before that, there is a precursor because we want the person to be the superhero, right? Without giving them the support required to be the hero.
God bless you.
We as the people, the have and have-nots, we have a responsibility to support and to be active prior to tragedy, prior to trauma, prior to a situation. Because what I saw recently was a whole lot of people talking about what we not going to do, but then not putting a force behind that conversation. I hear you talking. You're talking good, but the young man is already gone now. We're late. Mm-hmm. But then there's no true action that is effective for the youth, young adults, even the adults, to be very honest. But before you try to, downgrade a generation to talk about anybody, we have to have a collective effort. Thanks. And your first running was proof that it wasn't enough people to come together to make that thing happen. Your second running, how much weight you had to work you put in, what we consider, which really should have been effortless to a degree, because we have complaints, we have concerns, we have worries, but no one's putting in the effort required to be consistent, to support, and to do your due diligence. And they want you, and I'll say this because you always say it for yourself, but you can't be a representative for the people if you don't have the people.
Right.
That's a fact. Don't just call me to complain. Don't just call me with your smart. No, when I look up, let me see you. Let me see you at the podium. Let me see you in these seats. When I move, you move. We're our collective unit. That has to be the case. So now, with that being said, I'm going to be quiet and give it back is the fact that now we have several people running. Several people of color, and we're trying to get these petitions and this groundwork. He's about to get into that conversation. But yet again, if you're not going to put in the work to support any of these individuals, what's the point? Because you're gonna wear the person out, and you're gonna then I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be quiet, and then you're gonna get frustrated when they tap out,
right? Because
they've been yelling and screaming and beating the podium for you with no support. They're over it now, and now you want to show up. You've missed the years. You've missed the moment. That window. Where the fire is hot, the window where we're moving and we're pushing and we're shaking, and I'm down to take risk. After that, So then don't call me ineffective after I get out of office. No, y'all didn't support.
Right.
This is the time to support in the totality of everybody that's listening and that's watching, that's involved. Your support is required. And this is not just a black thing. So let's dismiss that notion right now.
Thank you.
You have to support. If you believe in what Donta is saying, what we're moving in, what you need to happen, you have to be present. You suck it up.
Right.
For 2 Wednesdays out of the month.
That's right.
Be there, be present. If there's a special meeting, sacrifice. We got to come. Bring the kids and the family. I don't care. You got to do what's required. Because there's room for everybody, but you got to put in the work. So I want to put the pressure. Like I said, I'm down with putting pressure on council, but I got to put pressure on us as well. We can't sit in our homes, sit in the corner. I love y'all being on the podcast. I love y'all watching this show. I'm glad you're tapping in. But when this is over and it's time to be a driving force, you have to be present and you have to be there.
And
probably my preaching.
Thank you. Because I'm going to tell you, I am a little tired. You know what I'm saying? But here's the beautiful part about it. Understand. I always say, I've been saying that as of late. All track records matter.
Yeah.
Right. So, what I do understand is that there is a lot of people running.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can say like a lot of people can during this time. A lot of people can make promises, right? What's going on, Ernie? I see you, bro. Absolutely, man. I definitely gonna rock. I'm gonna reach out to you, man, because there's some stuff that we want to get done here in collaboration. What's going on, John? I see you. So during campaign season, people can make promises, and a lot of times, a lot of people making promises that they can't even fulfill.
Yeah.
My thing is where are you in the process? Where have you been? I need to see what have you. I'm speaking for my space.
Yeah.
Because before I ran, I was in the community. Before I ever ran for city council, and I'm talking about. Let's see, I'm just thinking about everybody who's running right now. I beat that podium 50 times more than everybody that's running today.
Yeah.
So before I got in, if anybody just did their homework, they could have seen that I was already fighting on behalf of the people before. My message was just, expressing what I had already done.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I don't get too enthused by new people that pop up that want to run.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, I've seen there's a couple people that's running that they got a good track record of being in the community, of being people that speak for the voice. You know what I'm saying? And I'll let them. I'm not coming on here endorsing.
Yeah,
this is not what the vault is going to be. The vault, but what I will say is I will give every candidate an opportunity.
That's valid.
You can come on to the vault. You can come. Put your platform out because I want record. I want things on record.
Yeah.
So I don't care if you're running for mayor. I don't care if you're running for council. I don't care if you're running for county legislator. I don't care what you're running for. What I'm saying is that we putting it on record.
Yeah.
Donta is not gonna have, these, backdoor. Where you're gonna tell me hey, you can do this and blah 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 and so on and so forth. Because I had to do it.
Yeah.
Beginning of 2021, Donta was labeled a white supremacist empathizer. Right? Let's talk about what campaigning what type of stuff happens.
Wow.
Because I had my Black Reality Unscripted talking about Black excellence. One of my big matter of fact, I was in the middle of my what did I call it? It was basically shining the light on all of the good, because I said how media would, and I'm bringing back Black Reality Unscripted back to Fire 716,
Right.
and I wanted to shine a light and highlight. It was a highlighting season of a lot of the things I had, like a lot of people who had their own business. Casey Arma, I had, Falls Gear, Drench, The Body, I had all them. And so I was trying to show that the business owners, I had the Black owned businesses, I had, Dirty Bird, I had, Caribbean Flavor, all the, Hyde Park Cafe, Betty's and things like that. Because my biggest thing is like, instead of putting so much negative press out about Black folk, there are some Black people that are doing great things.
Absolutely.
So my thing and so I was in the middle of that.
Wow.
And because of the studio that I was in, and it wasn't the owners of the studio, but it was a show that had pretty much rented out the space.
Yeah.
Because that happened, people that look like me decided, I want to attack them, but I'm going to attack them through this guy.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about, how we operate as a people.
Yeah.
Since we're here, that's never cool. But what happens is I had to take it. I had to keep putting my message out there. I had to keep talking to people. Like, listen, hey, what about this? And I seen that the girl put you had your name in the paper, and she's putting all these memes and things out, and now people are saying this and that about you. And I'm like, listen, anyone, and here's what I will say to anyone that's worth their weight in salt. If someone is willing to believe something about me without talking to me, without knowing me, without getting facts, then they're not worth my time. I'd rather you come to the horse's head, not the horse's behind, right?
Yeah.
So, but I had to deal with that for months. Just coming out, watch this. This is my second time running. At that time, I had a whole full-fledged campaign, very minimal support, grassroots, no machines, no special interest behind me, putting money in my campaign account, telling me to turn my head when we vote for this or that.
No doubt. You was doing fundraisers and stuff.
Trying to put them. And guess what? My fundraisers I wasn't killing the people with my fundraisers either.
Right.
I had a $10 pancake breakfast at one time. This last one I did a $25, but it's chicken and waffle.
Yeah.
And unlimited mimosas. Like, come on, like, so I always had the people in mind. Even when I did fundraisers, it was just like, okay, I'm not gonna charge no $50 for a $40 fundraiser. I'm like, let me try to get as much, because I needed yard signs. This is stuff that we need. The Rip, thank you. And now that's the one before there. It was called Ma and Ba's Soul Food joint. My mom, and God rest her soul, Rosemary Bass. I love her. I miss her so much. They both did a whole joint with, and Sean, he was my grill master, right? Good morning, Mary. Lawrence, how y'all doing? And ribs, chicken, all kind of, man. We just had, it was great, man. Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. So these are people like I had to do it, and the dinners, what were like $15 for a good portion. So I did what I could do with what I had. and I didn't have a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? No, you know, but however, we worked and did what we could do. I didn't make it that time, you know, and I went again. One of the big reason was because Dahlia, my daughter, she said, "Dad, I know you didn't win this time, but I think you should run again. If you run again, I think you can win."
Wow.
Man, oh my God. Talking about a battery pack in my back.
Yeah.
That was the battery pack in my back. I didn't need to hear anything else because my daughter solidified that next running for me. Right. And my message pretty much didn't change that much. My message was still the same, right? I didn't, you know, get discouraged, you know, although things around me was discouraging.
Yeah.
Things in the community felt discouraging, but I didn't get discouraged and I ran again. Had a little more help the second go around. Miss Mary Tillman, thank you. I appreciate her. She helped me with the situation here, you know. And so you have to go through what you got to go through.
Yeah.
But like I said, all track records matter. So you can see my track record.
Yeah.
Out in the community. You can see my track record when I was, you know, the president of the Niagara Falls Peacemakers, and when we were out here doing this good work, putting in some good work, safe passage out schools, chicken dinner giveaways during the holidays when people are freezing cold and don't have nothing to eat. Coat drive year after year, hundreds of coats that we've given away to kids that were in need, and not cheap coats at that. So like, and just being present in the community, still standing, fighting for a community, fighting for a community center. This was before I ever thought about running for council.
That's crazy.
So I'm saying all that to say this, all track records matter. What's going on, Vic? I see you, sir. Chris. All track records matter. That's why I say everyone who's running, run your campaign.
Yeah.
It's easy. See, what happens is I had to go through what I had to go through. 2 campaigns and a year of hell later, right? And so with that being the case, and having to go through what I had to go through, no one's gonna just kind of like, hey, let me just clamp on to Donta.
Right. No, valid.
You know what I'm saying?
Valid.
Not a soul. That's not gonna happen. I put in mad work. I had a lot going on in my personal life.
That's crazy.
In my first year of city council, I had a lot going on in my personal life, along with my job being taken away from me, along with a nonstop fight with our mayor, along with, you know, colleagues that sat next to me that I feel could care less about the trauma that goes on in our community. I had to deal with that, and I deal with it like now. So it's not for me to try to pump or push or to try to slide anybody into any position.
Right.
Do the work like I did. Now, I had spaces that, like, I went to a radio station a couple of times. God rest his soul, Mr. Vince Anello. He invited me, put me on a couple of times, man, on you know, WJJL.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of podcasts here and there, you know, I'll speak, but then I knock doors. I still, you know what I'm saying, attended all kind of events. I had to be what I call Ezra, omnipresent. I had to be everywhere at once, you know, and I had to put in that work.
Yeah.
I think no one's gonna be just given
Mhm.
unless you deal with the devil and you deal the dirty politics.
Oh wow, that's a whole nother situation. And you do what's been done. Yeah. I'll say this about even when you were running those times, that very consistent across the board, very present. We knew what to expect when you pulled up.
Mhm.
And like I said before, it wasn't just one group of people.
Right.
It was a diverse group of people. It was a true passion, and I'll use the wisdom that you've given me, even here with what I've expressed to you, with the desire to be a situation
Mhm.
that the track record is important.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do it for clout. You can't do it for media. You just can't do it to be trying to. You have to really, because nobody talks about that part. What comes with being the public figure
Yeah.
is a public mess.
Yeah.
Because if the more you got, the more they pull.
The more they pull.
And even the stuff you don't have, they will create a scenario and a scene. And if you're not, I'm gonna just be very honest, if you're not built to handle that kind of smoke, this is, I mean, no disrespect to
Keep it a
anybody.
buck.
This is not what you want to do.
This is not for you.
Because if you're going to allow your emotions to cause you to act, respond, to move in a way that's going to cause you jail, imprisonment, or us be taken away from your family at any cost, you got to take, can you handle this?
Right.
Can you handle the slander? Can you handle them making stuff up?
Public
Can you
scrutiny
handle
immediately.
Can you handle that?
Immediately.
And that's a real question to handle. I don't care how long ago you did it. I don't care what it was. When it comes down to being a public and being a force to be reckoned with, there's smoke that comes with that.
Right.
So everybody that's running, I just hope they can handle that.
Yeah.
And for me, and I got to thank God for my little plight in the church, because for me, I feel like I want to be a little church veteran. We're not allowing people just to come in and just talk because you want a political agenda. No, who are you? What have you done?
Right.
Where are you going? Because if you're going to talk to them, they can talk back. Let's ask these questions.
Right.
Because for me, it's like, yo, it has to be a bigger agenda.
Facts.
It has to be a bigger motivation. And that's just what I'm saying. I love support. I'm gonna support the people I believe. Yeah, go for it.
Absolutely.
Let's pursue it.
Absolutely.
I got no fight against it.
Absolutely.
But I want you to understand there's difference between a movie, television production than real life.
Right.
And the question is, can you handle it? This is not something you've seen on TV. These are real people, real lives
that you're dealing with.
That you deal with. And
and the pressure will always be applied. It doesn't matter what you're going through in life.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can't shut down because of it. You still got to be on all day. On. Your phone blows up.
Yeah.
People, listen, you're going to get calls from people about stuff that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with your governing position. But you still have to be in a space where I always consider myself, I want to always be resourceful. I want to be resourceful enough to the point where it's like I'm resourceful enough to lead people where they need to go.
Yeah, valid.
Before I ran, let's talk to what I would respond or what I would ask. Before I ran, I would always be like, I would ask, I would call, like, say if I called Owen, I wouldn't call Owen Steed and be like, hey, Owen, can you call and I need you to do this for me, or I need you to do that. The first words that would come out of my mouth is, hey, Owen, who do I need to call to get thus, and thus taken care of, to make this happen? So what I did is I put myself in a place of, let me handle the business. Let me do what I need to do to make whatever I need to make happen. How you doing? Let me see here. Yeah, you remember that, yo. We had that whole man. I mean, he was a solid, that guy. He was a great help. You know what I'm saying? He was a help for me. You know, I mean, he was a heavy supporter of mine, Anello, and you know, shout out to him, man. May he rest in peace, man. At the end of the day, you know, because he pretty much gave me some gems on just even campaigning within itself. I'm okay now. That's what I will do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I will do. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'll do. I will pay it forward in that way.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Y'all out here running, I'll pay it forward. Now I did talk to some of y'all already, and when you ask me, you know, because I don't just give blind support. If you don't already have a track record of greatness, then you know, just let's be. I'm not just going to go, okay, well, you asked me, so I'm just going to do it. I allow you to express your own platform. But one thing that I would do, that I will do on as paying it forward is, if you ask me, I'll tell you from my perspective of what you probably would want to do.
Yeah.
I can make one solid statement now, and I've told multiple people and they haven't listened, and now they're kind of like, oh, you know. One, there are issues. Our city wants to know, what are you willing to fight for?
Yeah.
What are you willing to fight for? If you're going to represent me, are you going to represent me, or are you going to sit back and just rubber stamp what an administration or what someone else brings, some you know, a part of the nepotism families, family and friends? There are many issues in the city, from whether we're talking about our housing crisis that we're in, whether we're talking about, you know, the lack of investment in our youth, whether we're talking about us getting out of the Stone Age, and finding ourselves in spaces that makes more sense, that we can actually reach these young people. You know, slumlords, you know, power authority, state park, not really giving us our just due when it comes down to finances. What are you willing to fight for?
Yeah.
Right? That's another thing I've been talking about. When we sat down, these are gems, and thank you for bringing that up. Changing the city charter, that Franken charter, is something that, like, you know, that will actually go more so on behalf of our constituents in the community. What are we willing to fight for? There are issues that are out here, and if you're running, especially for city council, why wouldn't you show up and be a present at the meeting?
Right.
That's free.
Right.
That's free. Not just show up and sit down, but show up and find a logical, legit concern of the community and stand up and fight for it.
Yeah.
That's free. Because then what that does is that shows us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the community, because like I'm saying, I'm a regular dude that just has a political position.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck. That will show us that you're fighting for a position, not just to get a position, but you're fighting for the opportunity to be able to represent the people.
Right. Right.
That's what that shows the community. So for those who may end up watching this, who's running for any position, show us. That's how, if you want, show and prove.
Yeah.
You want to show me that you serious about it? Now, I know it's petition time and all that. Guess what? Y'all ain't gonna be passing petitions at 6:00 on a Wednesday night. Carve out that time. show up and address.
And that's valid. Like, don't just show up.
Right.
Let me hear your thoughts, your
Right.
ideas on these agendas. How you moving? What's your plan of action? What are you suggesting as a resolve to this?
On record.
Because if you're gonna get up there and play with a puppeteer, what's the point?
Back at square one.
We need different.
We need change requires change.
Yep.
So if you're running, trust me, ain't no easy way in. Show up and show the people what you're willing to fight for. See, I got tape. I call it tape. That's old school.
My Lord.
I got tape.
What a time.
What is that? I got about 4 minutes left. I have tape of meeting after meeting, and this is not just recent. I'm talking during the Deister administration, of me standing up, they're all 10 toes down, on issues that the community were concerned about, that I felt that our local governing body didn't care about. So I felt like I had to go and I had to squeak where the oil was. I didn't have, like, we were talking about a community center, and guess what? When we were asking for a community center, when we were talking about a community center, me and Ezra, we were talking, we're going to speak on it that night. And we asked, we were putting it out there, and I'm talking about like nobody's business. And guess how many people showed up? 3 from the community in which we were talking about trying to assist and help. 3 people, and one came with me. That was my god sister Kartika. But then that's the first thing. We ain't got no community center. Well, when we were talking about it and we were actually bringing it to the decision makers, just even trying to get a letter of support from the city, y'all didn't show up. And a person from the last community told me, he said, "Yeah, you're great. I love when you speak. You're fact driven. You're all that." He said, "But the people that you're fighting for, they don't show up. So the administration looks at it like, well, that's just Donta talking." Guess what? Even though I am your city councilman, it's still looked at that way. If I'm and me and a handful of few are the only ones talking. It needs to be a culture. It needs to be a culture where it needs to be culturally norm where we fill up our city council chambers every other Wednesday or whenever the meetings are. I have the meetings on my page, and it's also on Fire 716, and Fire 716 actually will take you directly to the link that will show you not just the meetings, but it'll show you the agenda items when they come on. And long gone are the days of excuses.
Valid.
Because we give so many excuses and we talk about, well, we ain't seen this and we haven't seen that. So what happens? Are you just going to sit back and die?
Right.
I think that's my problem, because excuses never get the job done. My dad always used to tell me that.
About 60 seconds. So
at the end of the day, we can't live. We will not live off of excuses. Excuses won't change the name of the game. So with that being said, I will be going through all of the comments because I know I can't catch them because they come fast, and I'll be spending most of the time trying to, go through comments. Follow us again. Come meet us back here again next week. Yeah. Meet us again back. I think this is a conversation that's worth the continuance.
No, for sure.
I might even have a guest or so that may come on, but I think we need to
You talking? It's your show.
We need to address. We need to address these issues, and I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna make it really clear again before we shut down. Is that I'm not here to pull anybody into any office seat. Because it's not for me to tell the people who you are.
Yeah,
it's for you to tell the people exactly who you are. So when you tell them, then it's coming from your mouth, and then we're holding you accountable, not I'm not gonna put any type of endorsement on anyone else. That's your job. That's what I did. I had to do my job. Y'all make sure y'all do your job. Shoot me a line if you want to come and you want to talk to the people.
Absolutely.
Then we can go that route. This is your boy Donta Myles, aka D Belly, aka Tank, aka your city councilman. We are here. We are here at Fire 716 Radio. Don't forget, please go download the app and subscribe. We got YouTube and stuff too.
We got YouTube, TikTok.
Check us out.
We have Fire 716 Radio on all platforms.
All platforms. Fire 716 Radio. We out. Till next time. Next Thursday, 11 o'clock. Please be on time. I'm gonna and share this, please. Share this with your friends, your families, your loved ones, and whatnot. Share this so they can know to go download Fire 716.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Donta Myles, aka D Belly, aka your city councilman. I'm here at Fire 716 Radio, and I'm asking you to tune in on Thursdays at 11 on our show, The Vault. We're going to be having some conversations that's super relevant, but very important. And sometimes it may be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to make sure that we get our voices out. Come tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and make sure you download the Fire 716 app. See you then.
What's up, everybody? It's Kier here, Inject Faith Hope Club. I am so excited to announce that you can now catch me right here on Fire 716 Radio each and every Monday for Inject Mondays at 7 p.m. So go ahead and download the app and rock out with your girl. Again, that's each and every Monday at 7 p.m. Tune.
Big Frank in the morning on Fire 716.
What's up, fam? It's Frank.
And Tyra. Tune in to Keeping the Fire.
Every Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on Fire 716.
It's Fire 716.
Let's go. It's Big Frank in the morning. Jay Cherie keeping it going. We got them hot topics, local news, and BGC flowing. We got Big Kev on the air. Dark Knight flying in here. It's Fire 716 and we rocking it. Hey.